It's early morning. The light is soft. The world is quiet. You're barely awake, still wrapped in that space between dreams and reality. And then, you feel it. A warm nose pressing against your cheek. A soft breath. And suddenly, lick. Then another. And another. Before you can even open your eyes, your dog is already there, enthusiastically licking your face as if it's the most important task in the world. You laugh. Maybe you gently push them away. Or maybe you let it happen, smiling through the chaos. Because to most people, it means one simple thing: love. Affection. Excitement. A happy dog greeting their favorite human. And for years, that's what we've all believed. Dogs lick your face because they love you. But behavioral science tells a very different story. What if this seemingly simple act carries layers of meaning far deeper than affection? What if, in that moment, your dog is not just showing love, but communicating something ancient, instinctual, and deeply psychological? To understand this, we have to step away from the living room and travel thousands of years back. Long before dogs became companions, they were survivors. Wild. Alert. Bound by the rules of the pack. In early wolf societies, licking wasn't just affection. It was communication. Young pups would lick the faces of adult wolves, not as a sign of love, but as a survival behavior. They were stimulating regurgitation. Asking for food. But there was something more subtle happening beneath the surface. This behavior also reinforced hierarchy. Lower-ranking wolves would lick the faces of higher-ranking members as a signal of submission, a peaceful gesture that said, "I trust you. I mean no harm. I belong here." And over time, as wolves evolved into dogs, this behavior didn't disappear. It adapted. It softened. But it stayed. Now fast forward to today. Your dog isn't trying to get food from your mouth. And you're not the alpha wolf in a forest. But in your dog's mind, you are still something very important. A central figure. A source of safety. A social anchor. And when your dog licks your face excessively, they may be activating that same ancient communication system. Not just saying "I love you," but something closer to "I feel safe with you. I depend on you. You are my world." And that changes everything. Because now, we're no longer looking at a cute habit. We're looking at attachment. In animal psychology, attachment theory isn't just reserved for humans. Studies conducted by researchers at the University of Veterinary Medicine in Vienna found that dogs form attachment bonds with humans that closely resemble the bond between infants and caregivers. In controlled experiments, dogs showed signs of distress when separated from their owners, and visible relief when reunited. But here's where it gets fascinating. During reunion moments, licking behavior significantly increased. Not randomly. Not casually. But consistently. As if the dog was trying to re-establish something emotional. From a psychological perspective, excessive face licking may be your dog's way of regulating closeness. Of reconnecting. Of grounding themselves in your presence. And that brings us to the brain. Because behind every behavior, there is chemistry. When your dog licks your face, something powerful is happening inside both of you. Oxytocin is released. Often called the bonding hormone, oxytocin is the same chemical that strengthens the connection between a mother and her child. It lowers stress. Builds trust. Creates emotional warmth. Research from Asabu University in Japan demonstrated that when dogs and humans interact, especially through touch and eye contact, oxytocin levels rise in both. And licking? It amplifies this effect. Your dog isn't just expressing emotion. They're actively creating a neurological loop of bonding. A feedback system. Lick, connection. Connection, safety. Safety, more licking. But there's another layer. Because not all licking is equal. Some dogs lick occasionally. Others, intensely. Relentlessly. Almost urgently. And that's where the psychology deepens. Excessive licking can also be linked to anxiety. Not always obvious anxiety. Not always destructive behavior. Sometimes subtle. Quiet. Internal. Dogs, like humans, have nervous systems that fluctuate between calm and alert states. And licking can act as a self-soothing mechanism. A way to regulate stress. Much like a human might fidget, bite their nails, or seek physical reassurance, dogs may lick. Especially when they feel overstimulated, uncertain, or emotionally heightened. In these cases, licking your face isn't just about bonding. It's about reassurance. It's your dog asking, "Are we okay? Is everything safe? Are you still here with me?" And most of the time, you respond. You laugh. You speak softly. You engage. And without realizing it, you reinforce the behavior. Not in a negative way, but in a deeply human way. You become the anchor they return to. Again and again. There's also a sensory component. Your face carries scent, salt, skin oils, subtle chemical signals that dogs can detect far beyond our awareness. To a dog, your face is like a map. A detailed story of where you've been, how you feel, and even your emotional state. Some researchers believe dogs can detect hormonal changes in humans, including stress-related cortisol levels. So when your dog licks your face, they may also be gathering information. Reading you. Understanding you, in ways that go beyond language. And then there's habit. Repetition. Learning. If licking has ever resulted in attention, laughter, or affection, your dog learns quickly. This works. And over time, it becomes a default behavior. Not just communication, but strategy. A way to initiate interaction. To say, "Notice me. Engage with me. Stay with me." But here's the deeper truth. The one most people never consider. Excessive face licking is rarely just one thing. It's not only love. Not only anxiety. Not only instinct. It's a blend. A layered behavior shaped by evolution, chemistry, learning, and emotional experience. And when you begin to see it that way, something shifts. Because now, instead of asking, "Why does my dog lick my face so much?" you begin asking, "What is my dog feeling in this moment?" And that question changes your relationship entirely. Because dogs don't communicate through words. They communicate through behavior. Through patterns. Through subtle, repeated actions that carry meaning beneath the surface. And licking is one of the most intimate of those actions. It requires closeness, trust, vulnerability. Your dog is entering your space, your face, your personal boundary. Not aggressively, but openly. And that openness is not random. It's relational. But there's something important to watch for. Because behavior is fluid. And when it changes, it tells a story. If your dog suddenly starts licking excessively more than usual, it may signal increased anxiety. A change in environment. A shift in routine. Even subtle stress you may not notice. On the other hand, if a dog that used to lick frequently suddenly stops, it may indicate emotional withdrawal, discomfort, or even underlying health issues. Dogs don't speak. But they show. Always. And the key is not to stop the behavior blindly, but to understand it. To observe patterns. To notice context. To ask, "When does this happen? What just changed? What might my dog be experiencing right now?" Because awareness creates connection. And connection is what your dog is seeking in the first place. So the next time your dog climbs onto your chest, leans close, and starts licking your face with unstoppable enthusiasm, pause. Don't just laugh it off. Don't just push them away. For a moment, see it differently. See the history behind it. The ancient instincts. The neurological signals. The emotional layers. See the animal that has evolved beside humans for over 15,000 years, learning us, reading us, bonding with us. And in that moment, realize something simple but profound. Your dog is not just licking your face. They are reaching for connection in the only language they've ever known. And maybe that makes it one of the most honest forms of communication that exists. If you've ever experienced this behavior with your dog, I'd love to hear your story. Does your dog do this every morning? Only when you come home? Or during specific moments? Leave a comment below and share your experience. And if you want to understand more hidden meanings behind your dog's behavior, make sure to subscribe and watch the next video. Because sometimes, the smallest actions reveal the deepest truths.